Hello again, everybody. This is Amorgin, and you're very welcome back to another episode of Star Trek Fleet Command. So, obtaining missions in a new way there, guys. The starter comes from within the area that you claim your chests and stuff. Actas 1 is the first one there that we're picking up. I'm jumping straight into this, guys. I have no idea what's going on at the moment. Going Beyond is the next mission we're picking up, and we can see a lively chest and other things there. So a new way of picking up starter missions here, guys. We're going to do an in-depth walkthrough of these missions. I'm going to take you through it step by step as I do it. I'm going to leave nothing out. You can skip through this, guys, and follow the coverage of it at your leisure. Pay attention, guys, to the footage. Pay attention to the systems that I'm in, what I'm clicking on, and all of that sort of stuff. And I will narrate this as best I can to bring you through it. We're going to cover not only this series of mission lines, but we're going to take a look at the new materials that you can get. We're going to take a look at the new ship that you can get, the Franklin, and we're going to explore the event that should allow free-to-play players obtain this ship. So, Going Beyond, there it is. I'm going to start with this one, guys. I'm going to leave Actas 1 until I finish this particular line. My advice is do one at a time. Don't get confused. We go in there now, it follows on into the source, and we can see that Jayla, the character from the movie, is available as an officer, but we don't have stats on her yet. And through the power of editing, as always, guys, I'm going to take you through this and jump through it quickly as I can. But the feedback, just I want to do a wee mention just on the reports that I'm getting from Discord and from the different forums, guys. People sending me messages, looking on LCARs and different places, and there's a lot of very unhappy players out there. There's other content creators going out and they're showing off the nice shiny new ships and whatever. I'm down in the trenches with you guys, like I say. I'm covering this from the get-go. I don't know what to expect, and I'm hearing a lot of dissatisfied customers and dissatisfied players out there. It's hard to know, guys, whether to feel sorry for the crew in Scopely, because this just seems to always bloody well happen. This just seems to be the habit of a lifetime here. It's going on now for us for 2 years or more on the Founder server. It's ridiculous that they bring in new content and they essentially break the game. As soon as I entered into the game, missions that I had in the log were automatically completed for me. It's got buggy as hell. Loads of people complaining about it. Some people can't get past certain points. I'm sure that customer support are inundated with reports about all of this, and I'm getting freezes, and I'm getting the loss of being able to identify the ships. There's no text on the ships, and different things that's happening. I've had to restart this at least a dozen times to get through this. It's been one of the most laborious tasks I've ever set my mind about to try to record this video, because I've had to restart so many times just to be able to bring up these missions. But like I say, guys, I'm working away in it. We'll get through it as best I can. Apologies for any shabbiness to this video. It's been a real tough task with all of the restarting that I needed to do, but I want to get this first part of it out, guys, to you as soon as possible. I'll get significantly through this mission line, follow the text, guys, and check the systems, like I say, and we'll get through it as best we can. Bear with me on my narrating of it as well, guys, because I've been up late trying to get this out as well. It's well past my bedtime, and I just want to get this first section out, see how it goes, get it rendered, and hopefully it will be of some assistance to some of you guys that I'm hearing don't even have the event on your server yet, and that's something we'll take a look at in a little while. Right now, we're going through this mission storyline with Jayla. She's referring to them as the bees, and it's all about stopping these bees. Getting the Franklin, obviously, is the way to do it. But right now, we're doing it with, I'm doing it with my explorers, guys. I recommend having at least one of your explorers out. I have all of my explorers out. I have the Jellyfish, the Vaclus, and the Centurion out. Just better warp ranges, guys, and that kind of thing. try to get these done very quickly. So as I go through this footage, you'll notice that I'm sending out the ships to explore the system. There's one of my restarts I had to do, you just noticed there. There's an overload of information here, guys. Like I say, I don't know whether to feel sorry for Scopely or to be really, really annoyed with them. An overload of information. It goes quiet for a while. We're sitting there bored with the same old repetitive events, and then it's really bad communication and information overload. And like I say, I don't know, like I wouldn't want to be working in the Scopely offices with the ire that they're going to be faced with from the player community tonight and tomorrow. I wouldn't want to be there when when the post-mortem's done and what went wrong with this new content. It wouldn't be a nice place to be. I'm pretty sure morale's going to be low. Like I say, I don't know whether to feel sorry for them or to be really, really angry, because this is a wee bit of a disaster, judging by what the players are saying. I'm going to try and judge for myself and keep a clean enough view on it. But so far, the amount of restarts and everything, it's not good, guys. An awful lot of stuff going on, including announcements on modifications to the PvP levels and all of that, which is something we've been calling for, and it's very welcome that the announcement was done in a way that was saying that this is going to be modified as we go along. They're going to be checking it out and testing it as we go along and making changes and tweaking. So that's really, really good that they're telling us that it's not the finalised version just yet necessarily. We'll see how it goes. I don't think they've done the ±5, but they have reduced it somewhat, I think. But we'll get into that perhaps in another video, guys. It's all on LCARS there if you want to go and check out LCARS. But right now I want to get through as much of this as I possibly can. It's going to be slightly long, but like I say, I'll shorten it as much as possible through a wee bit of editing. Yeah, so I don't know whether to be angry at Scopely either, because this is just shabby as hell with an information overload. Like I say, there's an awful lot of these missions here that you're just running around and click, 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 click. It would have been nicer just to condense these and let us get stuck into the event itself and try to obtain the ship and farm the materials and whatever. It's not all doom and gloom. There is an element to this here that I'm noticing that could be useful. It'll depend on the levels, guys, so join me in Discord and come and give your feedback and leave your comments below, of course. Once this event goes live for you, let me know what way it's working, what your targets are on the stuff, and we'll take a look at that now shortly. You'll notice here I'm going to be ignoring Act as 1, trying to follow these mission lines in more of a linear fashion. I recommend you do the same. Like I say, get out your explorers, have them scattered around, save on transport time and just save generally on time. We can see here a little bit of combat. I've reached the point where I need to kill 30 of these bees, these swarm. You can see there that they lost their text. It was hard to identify what they were, but we completed 30 of them. Relatively easy, very, very busy in these systems. Everybody's in the same system trying to compete for the same hostiles. Very busy. Informational overload. You wouldn't want. I'm very busy at work and real life and all. You wouldn't want to be in that situation here. I'm trying to get a video out and all of that. It's quite a hassle. But reports I'm hearing from other servers is that this has caused chaos in these systems. There's been a lot of ships getting killed, a lot of people killing, doing PvP. That might be a welcome thing for some. Let me know your thoughts on that. It's a hassle for others and going in getting their ships killed, but there you have it. It's a PvP game too, so so maybe this has brightened things up. Let me know what you think about that, guys. Is it a pain in the arse having to compete for these hostiles? Would it have been just easier to allow people to get them in a variety of different systems, for example, or something, where there's not so much competition? Or are you enjoying the PvP element and being able to go in and kill other ships and clear out systems and allow your own alliance to do it or whatever? Personally, I'd prefer to be able to just go in, kill them, get out of there, but some people enjoy that PvP, any excuse for it, so that's okay too. On the founder server though, etiquette's being respected. I think there hasn't been too many below the belt hits. There's been a few, but there hasn't been too many below the belt hits, so people are being decent enough toward each other. But it's been tough going for me to to try to get as much of this into one video as possible without making it too long for you. So we'll flick through some of them as quickly as possible. We're almost finished this Life After Kral and destroy the lead swarm group. Again, buggy as hell here, guys. Very, very difficult to detect there. So it was which ship was Kral's. Hitting the locate button, it's not really identifying it. Yeah, they keep breaking the game. I done a video on it saying they broke the game before. Like, I feel like doing another video saying they broke the game again. You know, it's shocking stuff given the amount of money that this company claims to make. People calling for support there, people making excuses saying Panic's not working at the weekend, or he's got a private life and all, and of course he does. We're constantly calling for more resources for Panic. There should be 24-hour round-the-clock support for people. This game is a global product. It's in every time zone. There should be support there for every time zone. I'm sure Panic would agree with that. But right now it seems like they're more focused on trying to promote the idea of this event, trying to promote the idea of getting the Franklin, and the people can see through it, the player base can see through it. They're criticising the way that it's done, as well as the mess up and the shenanigans that's going on here with this. Bugs graphically, it's just messing the whole game experience up altogether. And like I say, combined with that information overload, guys, it can fry the brain. You know, we had a week where it was really, really quiet. Part of this could have been released and let us get our teeth into it, or even, we've said it before, let people test this. You know, try this, pick a server, you know, and tell them you're going to let them test this and give them an advance on it. And you know, the founder server have always been the guinea pigs with this, but there's a load of servers there now. I'm sure any amount of them would be happy to have tested this a week in advance and see how it goes. It's not great. It's not great. There's a couple of people who needs to go and take a look in the mirror here and ask themselves, where's their ethics and their morals and all of this here? There's people spending big money on this. And I'll have a video coming in the near future. I want to give a wee shout out to Ignatius, who's on my Discord. She runs her own alliance and one of the other servers. I think she's one of the top players there. It's the top alliance, certainly, I believe. And we've had a good discussion about some of the practical things could be brought into this game, particularly around player support and little functions in the game that would make life an awful lot easier. And some very interesting points that Ignatius had. So keep an eye out for that one, guys, when the hype around this event dies down. And we'll explore a couple of really interesting points that Ignatius and a few others have made in recent times. So what I'm recommending here, just in terms of this event here, guys, is unlock all the systems. Have your ships out and unlock all of them systems. That's what I was doing there. I had one ship working on the missions while the others were out just unlocking them systems. Quite an easy thing to do while you're waiting for your ship to arrive. So yeah, I haven't seen the founder server this busy in a long time. It's good in that way. So quite happy to see the activity levels. We've reached a point in this mission line here where it's telling us to defeat the swarm vessels and make sure to return the frequency modulators. I was a bit lost only for the LCARs, guys, what the frequency modulators were. Getting them mixed up with the biomatter, the stuff that you can get, the other stuff. So we brought them 80 back. We got this gift here that gave us the 100 biominerals. Sorry, not biomatter. Again, Jayla's stats are invisible. We can't see them. I wonder, is that intended? Is that, are we going to unlock them at some point, or are we going to have to test her and find out where she's useful? So that's an interesting one. So here's the biominerals, guys. We'll take a quick look at these. For 100, we can get some power steel there. 200k titanium, 375 altogether for 100 biominerals, and something like 75k dilithium there. And there's 65 of them modulators, frequency modulators, from a level 24 swarm cluster. And if we check out the level 15, which are the lowest level swarm clusters I believe that are there, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if you've seen a lower level. I believe these are the first levels of them, and one frequency modulator from killing those for the use lower level guys. So here's the event, guys. Build the USS Franklin. So by building it, you get 20,000 points, but you want a lot of ship EXP there to complete that event. Get these Franklin warp interlocks. It's an interesting thing to need to upgrade individual components now. Some nice rewards as you go up through this, but you need something like 30,000 ship EXP to complete that event after you build the Franklin. Here's the PvE event, guys. Here, some of you don't have this on your servers. So for me there, bottom set of rewards, I get 2 blueprints. Next set I get 6, that's 8 altogether. Some nice other materials there. There's 8 and 15 is 23, so that's on the second tier rewards, and the top tier is 20, 22 and 23 is 45, so that's half a set of blueprints, guys, for the PvE, killing hostiles. Any hostile will work here. I'll say that again, any hostile will work. You check your levels. It doesn't have to be the swarm hostiles. Now this one's coming in a couple of hours for us. This is the mining one, and again 2 at the entry level tier rewards. The third, and the same kind of thing. So 45 prints available then from the mining event. So if you complete the mining event and you complete the PvE event, you should be able to get a full set of Franklin blueprints. So let me know what your targets are, guys, on your servers. You've seen what they were there for me. Pretty sure they'll scale down with the levels. So hopefully that means that the Franklin is available for free to play. We'll jump back in to finish off a few of these missions before I sign off, lads. It's getting very, very late for me, so I hope I didn't rush through this too much for you. I hope it's been of some help to get you to a certain point. Follow on the mission storyline in that linear way, guys. You'll probably pass me out, but that's okay too. I'll still do the tutorial on this and the walkthrough on it. There she is, guys. There's the Franklin. 24 times damage against swarm ships, and we'll complete this beyond ultimate set of missions if we can. And again, having to restart all the time, guys, and edit all of this together. It feels very much like these are very long-winded, unnecessary, drawn-out, repetitive ways of doing it. Jump to this system, jump to that system. Now, I know there's not too many options when it comes to it, but there's no need for such long mission storylines. Like, there's 8 sections in that, another section is 10 in it. Like, in the earlier versions of this game, you would get no more than 2 or 3, 4, 5 would be rare, you know. Now it just seems like it's 8, 9, 10, and it's like, come on, make it a little bit more reasonable. Like 3 or 4 is plenty in terms of completing a section of storyline. Would certainly make my life easier in terms of trying to create content for it and edit clips together, and certainly situations like this where they break the game and I have to restart all the time and clear cache and all that kind of stuff. So some of these you have to choose the rewards. I'm going for the repair speed ups. That would be my preference above all else there. And this is again one of the situations where I'll use the jellyfish, where I need an explorer out and about. The Vacla is quite redundant for me now as well, but again, in situations like this, get it out there, moving around the galaxy. So no sooner are we given them and have gathered them, but we have to give them away again, which is fair enough because they're easy enough farmed. I know some of you very low level guys will be a bit concerned about that, but bear in mind, you know, some people have spent an awful lot of money and spent an awful lot of time playing this game. I've spent 2 years at it. I wouldn't be very happy if a level 15 could come in and just get everything that I'm getting there at a faster pace or similar pace. All the effort I put in to get into the level that I'm at, I'd like to be able to get some sort of buff or bonus from that. But I'd really be interested in hearing what you guys think of the task ahead of you at lower levels. Do you find it something that you feel is achievable? Does it feel out of reach? Be still interested to hear that, guys. Now, one of the things I'm particularly interested in this is these dailies. Anybody not doing dual faction, single faction like me, these dailies might actually finally give us the opportunity of completing the full set of daily goals and being able to tap into those loyalty chests. Calling them loyalty chests were a joke, because the people who were most loyal were finding it most difficult to obtain them unless they were running 2 factions. And for some of us from the founder server, it was already too late by the time they changed the faction dailies and brought them in. So I think I'll finish up after we complete these nest ones, guys, and I'll pick it up in part 2 of this video, hopefully tomorrow. So we see there that was hidden rewards. Okay, so that's that completed. Nest is finished. There's the USS Franklin. Build that. And Silent Partners here, guys. I'll pick it up with Silent Partners tomorrow. So I hope this is a bit of some help to some of you guys. Leave your comments, like I say, like and subscribe and all. And look after yourselves and look after each other. And I will chat to all of you guys again in the very near future. Cheers.